to the Kate and Omega podcast, Shared Stories. We're so excited to be back for 2025.
Yes,
Omega.
yes.
How are you doing today?
I am doing outstanding.
Yes.
How are you?
I am fantastic. It's been a beautiful day. Kind of just like enjoying the moment, getting geared up, back in action.
There you go.
How you feeling?
I mean, I'm feeling great, like I said before, and what actually happened since the last podcast, right? What happened?
Well, the last podcast taping was in December, so
Right.
a lot has changed. A lot of movement has happened and beautiful things and alignment, and we're just really excited to get back at it.
Right. So, good news about you, right? You about to start your other new business.
Yeah, so I just launched a new project. It's called La Joya Beauty Bar. It's
There you go.
a beauty bar on wheels. So we just purchased the RV, and we're going to do some renovation and wrapping. And
There you go.
so we're super excited. It's very, very excited and eagerly anticipated for sure.
Yep. And you'll be my new client again.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be great. You know what I'm saying? A lot of business development. I'm going to be doing the credit card processing for you as well.
Yep.
And, I'm going to make sure, that this project is successful as always. And as far as me, I've been banging out singles and dropping singles left and right, you know what I'm saying? So, I've been dropping a lot of new singles and currently working on my EP, Psychotherapy, so it's what I've been going through the past 18 months. And, it's going to be great,
Put it all into the music, baby.
All into the music.
That's right.
Music, what they say, music, art imitates life, or life imitates art, or something like that. My music is about real life experiences. So, that's what I dump into. I get into real life experiences and I talk through the music. What's up with you, Duncan?
Man, nothing much. I'm happy to be here with both of y'all. Me, traveling the world, running my mouth and helping people, trying to change lives and stuff like that. Trying to be the light in a lot of darkness.
That's great.
I
That's
love
great.
that.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
love that.
Be the light shining through the darkness.
Yeah, because my mentor had explained this to me one time. Shout out to my mentor Sam Rafford, and he said that if you needed to light up a dark space, right? Just say there was miles of darkness, total darkness. It only takes one small light to pierce that darkness.
There you go.
But on the flip side, if there was a exorbitant miles of light, darkness couldn't drown it out.
I love that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so he said, be the light in the darkness.
There you go.
So,
There you go, my brother.
I also heard recently intense darkness has to happen in order for intense light to pop out. So it's like an equal. We talk a lot about being the light. So
Yeah. So I have another theory on that too. So people who are ordained by God or have been blessed by God, I'm able to tap into darkness, right? So it's like some people tap into the darkness and they stay stuck in the darkness. You know what I'm saying? I was able to tap into the darkness and then pull some people out of the darkness with me back to the light, and some people don't. You know what I'm saying? So I've been blessed to be able to tap into both sides. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that's my mission in life. So.
the yin and the yang.
The yin and the yang, baby.
All right. Well, let's let our audience know who we have with us today. So I'm very excited. Our guest is someone who embodies the word resilience. He is a top youth speaker, a motivational leader, and a best-selling author of Rerouting Resilience Tools and Tactics. He currently serves as the director of the Center for Resilience at Villa Maria College, and he is a proud military veteran who has dedicated his life to empowering others.
Thank you for your service.
it's an honor.
From the classrooms to communities, from keynote stages to grassroots advocacy, Duncan Kirkwood is on a mission to help people, especially young people, tap into their purpose and discover they are truly unshakable. Today, we're talking about how he got started, the impact of your work, and the moment you knew what your purpose really was. This conversation is about leadership and grit and never quitting. No matter what life throws you, Duncan, we're so excited to have you as part of our show today.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
I feel
Yes,
like
sir.
that's where you cue the like fake applause.
Yeah,
So that,
yeah,
you know,
right,
you know
right,
what I
right.
mean,
Yeah,
type
there
thing.
you go, there you go.
No, that was beautiful. Thank you
Well,
for having me.
I also just want to add, one of my favorite things to do is get to know a guest before we really get to know a guest. And so I just want to salute you and thank you. And I'm actually personally excited to hear your journey. So.
Yeah, for sure.
So with that, for those meeting you for the first time, how do you describe yourself and the work that you do?
So I describe myself. Oh, that's a great question. Okay, so here's the thing. Most people would say I'm a motivational speaker. Like that's kind of how that's the easiest way to describe what I do.
That's
right?
how I met you.
Right.
You know.
But I don't believe that that's what I do.
Right.
So when I think of a motivational speaker, I think of a person on stage giving inspiration, giving motivation, giving encouragement, right? And that's powerful.
Right.
But I do something a little different. What I do is I get on stage and I speak to people in their language and help them to understand how to transform how they see themselves and how they see the world around them. So that when people leave my presentations, they are a different person. So that's a little different, but it's harder to describe, right? So I just say, oh yeah, I'm a speaker. I'm a resilience trainer, you know, that type of thing. But to me, I do human development. I do human transformation. I have found a way to explain how to exist, how to have joy, how to have purpose to people of different ages and different parts of their journey and say it to them in their language.
Wow.
And that's very important because people generally only hear things in their language.
You know what? That's a good point. That's a good point. Matter of fact, I remember when you spoke for me when I was running Team Network and I did a lunch and learn, right? And then you did a motivational, speaker to some of the business owners and sales entrepreneurs and stuff like that. That was amazing. You remember that? Yeah, that was dope. And I was like, yo, I said, you need to talk to more business people and this and that and, get into that, you know what I'm saying? And like, he just took off. And then he actually plugged me with Weedy too. And that's how I got on the board with Weedy because of Duncan. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I love to connect people. And people always say, hey man, thank you, Duncan, appreciate that. I say, people, you don't got to thank me. I give everybody every bit of information I have. You know how people say gatekeepers? I'm giving it all to everybody.
There you go.
But the problem is, I could give the same information to 100 people. Only 2 people going to take advantage of it.
Right.
So that's you saying, oh, information, I'm going to get it.
That's right.
You be on the email chains like, I'll take it from here, Duncan. I'll take it from here, Duncan. We moving you to the BCC.
But we both military though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're Army, right?
Yeah.
I'm Air Force.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you got to have that follow through.
For sure.
But yeah, so that's a little bit of the work that I do. So I help people build resilience. What I've found is a lot of the world we live in right now, people are lacking resilience, especially young people and especially educators and even a lot of entrepreneurs. People don't have the grit that it takes to really be successful.
And what's grit?
Yeah.
So grit is like the ability to do the. Can we curse on this podcast? Do the I say we can do the crappy work. In the military, we would say embrace the suck, right? Like so. You have something you have to accomplish. There's a lot of sucky work that goes into doing it.
Yeah, man.
But if you learn how to embrace the suck, your life all of a sudden becomes less stressful. You become more joyful because it's like for example, we had training in the woods for 3 days. Yeah, you got an attitude. The ants is crawling on you. You got a big rucksack full of gear. You sleeping outside. It's cold. Yeah, you got an attitude about it. But
I was in the Air Force. I didn't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? We just ran and we took tests.
Well, I'm sorry, y'all on the computer. Your fingers get tired from typing.
Yeah. But my dad was Army. He was a Screaming Eagle paratrooper. He was in Vietnam.
That's high.
He told me to go in the Air Force.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if in the difficult thing, you find a way to find joy in the thing that's difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
All of a sudden, that whole journey becomes an adventure.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's what I help people do. I help people build resilience. I think that was your question, right? How to kind of describe the work I do.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to circle back too on a couple. I wanted to ask a question. You had said I understand when I'm talking to an audience, I have to meet them.
Speak their language.
Yeah, I have to speak their language. I have to almost meet them where they are. some of them will understand and, you know, pick up what I'm laying down, and they'll go home and they'll be like, wow. And then others, you know, maybe next time. So like, how do you sort of prep and gauge for specific audiences? So like your business entrepreneurs versus your youth, and is it a vibe? Is it an energy thing? Is it?
It's all of the above.
Yeah.
So I try to speak to people at 3 levels, right? So the first level, most important level, is the kind of like the past. Like I can connect my experiences in life to your experience in life. So you care what I have to say because you feel connected. Then I speak to you as this is where you are in your journey. And then I speak to you as this is where you can get to, right? But that looks different for different people. Right. So when I'm talking to a high school, it's different than when I'm talking to a prison.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So like all those things look different to those different people. So I try to take the time to prepare to make sure I can hit all 3 of those for each individual audience. So some of it is prep, but some of it is in the moment, in the talks. What happens is I show up as Duncan. That's one thing I'd work hard. I've spent a lot of my life figuring out how to be my true and authentic self.
Thank you for that.
And so when I show up as my true and authentic self, I'm from the hood, nerdy, gamer, you know, frat boy, a black college, all of that. When I show up as all that, right, to a school in rural New York in Franklin County where the superintendent rides up to the school in a horse. So it's like all kids that don't look like me.
For real? Up in a horse? For
yes,
real?
yeah. The superintendent up in Bruston, New York, he ride a horse. But anyway, so, but when I show up as my true self, even though I have nothing in common with the people there, right? They feel like they can show up as their true self. They can take that mask off.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we can have a connection. So now when I ask a question, they give a real answer.
Right.
Who's been through something? They raise their hand and say, I've been through things.
Right.
Well, now we can have a real conversation, right? And so I'm speaking to them, but really to the audience. So there's also the energy in that moment that I'm able to connect with. And again, that's something I've always been good at.
Yeah.
You know, I have always been a great storyteller, a great talker. But, you know, when you're in high school, you know, and you good at talking, you don't get an award for that.
You do not.
You get detention.
No, you don't.
So
He's great, but
and back in the day, the teachers would write that on your report card. They would say
very social.
They would say Duncan has potential if he would stop distracting class. They would like write notes on next to the grades.
I got that too.
And I went to performing arts here in Buffalo. And what happened is nobody knew. Nobody told me that talking could be a job. Nobody told me that speaking is a gift.
Okay.
So like if you missed the fight, like it was a fight after school and you missed it, the next day you don't want to talk to nobody. You're like, where is Duncan? Because when I tell you about the fight, you're going to feel like you was there. You're going to be sitting there like it's a movie, right? And I just didn't know that could be a career. I didn't know that I had a gift. So it took years to figure out this thing that I have could be a career, could be a gift.
So passion, purpose, profit, right? So you're passionate at talking, right? And you have a purpose and you turn it into profit.
Yeah.
Monetize.
There you go.
There we go. Bam, bam, bam.
So that aligns nicely with, when did you know what your was there a moment you were like, wow?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you remember the day?
I remember the exact moment everything changed.
Tell it to us.
All right.
Tell us, Duncan.
All right, so I'm in college, and I got involved with this Middle Eastern advocacy organization that was pushing for peace in the Middle East. And I went to this conference, and I went to Israel a couple times, and Jordan and stuff like that. And so the organization then was like, oh, look at this black kid who's been on all our trips and been on one of these conferences. So they had me go speak at their fundraisers. So I would go around the country to go like fly me out, speak. I'm 20 years old, right? Speaking at these fundraisers as congressmen, as vice secretary of defense, all of these people, right? We met Obama, met Hillary, all of them when they were senators. And I'm speaking at these fundraisers, right? And they paying me $500 per event.
Wow.
As a student.
Right off the gate.
Yeah, and I'm 20, I'm 20 years old. That's a lot of money when you in college broke.
It is.
You feel me? Flying first class, getting $500. And I'm not talking about once a month. They flying me up 4-5 times a month. You know what I mean? So we rocking and rolling.
Is you balling?
Yeah, so I'm in the car with them. I'm in the back seat. We driving from Santa Ana, LA, in California to LA. So it's like a 3-4 hour drive. And I'm in the back, half asleep. The two of the staff members are in the front, and they're like on speakerphone talking to one of the keynote speakers for one of their upcoming events. Right? It's this guy. He was a commentator on CNN. His name was Paul Begala.
Okay.
And he would do CNN and Fox News, but more so CNN. And he was going to be like the big name for their fund. These is big fundraisers. I'm not talking about like cute little basket sales. I'm talking about they bringing in $3 million, $5 million at these fundraisers. All right. So Paul Begala, he's their keynote speaker that they want.
Okay.
And they're negotiating with him. He won't do the event for less than $22,000. Okay. And they only want to give him $16,000.
Okay.
And I'm in the back getting $500.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a standing ovation at every event, city to city. That's because they got the organization is broken into regions. Right, so one region's like, yo, you got to get Duncan. We got standing ovation. Wow. We just raised more money than we ever raised. We already booked them for 5 more events, right?
Right.
So they I'm crushing it. And I wake up, I said, what? And they said, yeah, he wants 22,000 and we really not trying to go above 16, 17. And I said, why am I only getting 500? Right. They said, well, you're not published. They said you don't have the credentials. You right? And they said, so you got to build up your credibility before you can command that type of money. I said, noted. So that was when I was 20. Now I'm a best-selling author. I done sold 50,000 copies of my book across 30 states, a bunch of school districts. Right. Now I've got a director of Center for Resiliency at Villa Maria College. I was an Army Master Resilience trainer, so I got all the credentials now. I got my MPA, everything. So now I can command. I ain't where Paul Begala is, not yet, but I am rapidly moving in that direction. So that was the moment where I was like, oh, this is real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, when she said, I said, I'm in the back like, you giving him what? For him to give a dry, stuffy 30-minute analysis that you could have watched on the news? And I'm rocking the crowd. I said,
he's gonna hear this interview, right?
Well, no, it was motivation. It was motivational to me. And he's a very nice guy, so I'm not disparaging him, but it was just, that moment was just so it made it so crystal clear for me that this is my thing.
Yeah, you seen the value.
You know that moment.
But the only thing I misinterpreted, because I'll share with y'all. At that time in my life, I was the student government vice president at my college. So I was student body vice president. So I thought that skill I had would lead into politics. I still thought speaking was a hobby at that time. Even though it could be, he making a lot of money. That's not his real job. Right. His real job is a CNN contributor or whatever. So I thought my way to make a difference would be to be a politician, because I could pass laws and policy to really make the world better.
Like a legislator?
I wanted to be a congressman. So my idea was that I would go through, local levels of government and eventually become a congressman, and then I could write policy. I'd be this amazing rock star congressman that's really changing lives, and then I'd run for president. Yeah. Now my dream ended at announcing my candidacy for presidency. Right? Okay. It was like I didn't. In no way did I say I'm gonna win.
It could still be there.
No, that's over.
They say when you think it literally exists on a frequency that you just need to get to.
I'm not going to say you wrong, but this, for me, the dream of politics is over. Because what I've learned now is, number one, there's other ways to make an impact.
Right.
That's true.
And there's ways to do it where I still get to keep my freedom and integrity. Right.
And politics is a dirty game, too.
Yeah, because what I learned when I ran for office is the type of things that you have to do to win. Right, so this is how I explain.
Come on, man, give us a scoop, man.
Ooh, you got, you know what? I don't care. I'm out of it. I tell you.
Roll up your sleeves, brother.
All right, so first you got to have money. You have to have a lot of money.
Yeah, of course.
Or hold up, a lot of money, or a lot of people.
Right.
Or you need the political bosses.
Okay.
So you got to have one of those three things to win. You need the political bosses, the money, so Pastor Pridgeon got the people. So he can do whatever he want. He don't gotta kiss nobody's ring. He can say, this is what I believe, this is what I want. So when he was in office, he was independent. Because he got his own people.
Yeah.
Then you got some politicians who had the money. And so they could do what they wanted.
Right.
And then you got others who got the political bosses. And I didn't have the money, didn't have the people. I had a big family, but I didn't have enough people. And I wasn't you know, because of the way that I advocate for people, I would never have been able to make it work with the political bosses, right? And so looking back though, I'm grateful.
Absolutely.
I'm grateful for the people who ran. I'm grateful for the person who won. I'm grateful for the experience, the lessons, because
who won?
Me, April Baskin.
Oh, you ran against April? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the homie.
Yeah, so me and April went to high school together. She's a couple years older than me. And me and April, we talked about the election afterward. We had lunch one day. It was so funny. She was like, this is after she won the first time, right?
Okay.
She said to me, Duncan, are you gonna run again? I said, yes. Yes, I am. Right? Because me running is a problem because I'm gonna give it everything I got. So the party got to commit money, time. They spent like $80,000, right, to beat me, right? So she's like, you gonna run again? She was like, you should run for school board. Right, which actually is a logical thing.
Just pass you the buck.
Right, you know what I'm saying? She's like, you should run for school board. We could put the machine behind you, boo, boo, boo. And I was like, you know what? I appreciate that because that was her saying in a respectful way, we respect you, we value you, you know, but I don't want you running against me.
For sure.
That's cool.
I remember I met April, like this is way back when she was doing the nonprofit, the college experience.
The college,
Yeah, I met her about like 13, 14 years ago. And she told me what she was planning to do. And I was like, you could do it. And she's like, I'm going to do it, Rob. And I was like, all right. And she did it, man. So kudos to April. Yeah,
kudos to her. She in the Senate now, doing her thing in the
It's
state.
amazing. It's amazing to see her growth, man. I'm like, whoa. You know?
Listen, whenever people doing good, I talk about her in my speeches.
Yeah.
So when I'm talking to young people at schools and stuff, I got a slide. I got a picture of her on my slide.
Wow.
I say, like, I ran for office. Here's my campaign flyer.
Wow.
Then the next slide is her at a news conference saying, I won. You know what I'm saying? and I'm telling the kids, I'm like, listen, this is something I worked on for 12 straight years.
Sure.
That's the reason I joined the Army was because I was going to run for office.
Okay.
Because all the great politicians in history were either veterans or they were lawyers, and I didn't want to go to law school.
Right.
So I joined the military. So I did my 8 years. So as I'm in the woods, as I'm low crawling, I'm thinking, I'm going to be a politician. I'm going to be a politician. I'm going to be a politician. I'm shooting M16s on the range for 12 hours. I'm going to be a politician. I'm going to be a politician, right?
Did you get the ribbon for marksman?
Huh? Yeah, absolutely.
I did too.
Oh yeah, it took me a couple times though. But you know, so this was like a life dream. So to see that dream die was very difficult for me.
Yes.
Because I got a master's in public administration. I worked for a city councilor.
Wow.
If you Google my name, I wrote the state charter school law in Alabama.
Okay.
Right. So I co-wrote it with a group of people.
All right, so
and then
make sure you Google them.
You know what I'm saying? So we passed the charter law. I worked for Move On, the national advocacy organization. I worked for Paid Family and Medical Leave Plus, the fight for paid family and medical leave with Congress. Like I have dedicated my life to trying to make things better for other people. So I've believed that politics was my way to continue that journey. But what I realized was the office wasn't the goal. Helping people and changing their lives was the goal. And I don't need the title or the chains that come with that. In order to achieve the goal. And so now I am walking in purpose. I have a freedom and a levity and a light in my life that I never really thought. Like I didn't know what freedom was. Like growing up, you hear the concept of freedom, but I didn't actually know what it was other than the word as a concept. Now I am free. I'm free. My time is free. I am free to do things with my kids.
You said you're pretty busy.
Bruh. By the end of tonight, I'm gonna be playing Mortal Kombat on my PS5.
You know what I'm saying?
Like my time is free. My energy is better. I'm working in the way that I want. I'm making more. I got a football player contract with my speaker agency. So I got a 10-year, $7 million contract with my speaker agency. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like the life that I have, and that's why I tell people, the failures, the adversity, the setbacks,
all of it.
Those things aren't meant to undermine you. They're part of your journey. So you don't have to feel like a loser. Like, you know how they say he gonna cry in the car? When I lost that election, I cried in the car. Because I don't know if you ever ran for office, but let me break it down. Is this okay? I'm going to talk about this?
No, I ran for office, so, you know.
Have you?
Yeah, the hood politician, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. So let me break it. And y'all tell me if I'm just going off on a tangent. If y'all want to change the conversation, you let me know.
She got some questions. We want to get through them, you know what I'm saying?
All right, let's get through it. But the point, I'll shorten it. The point is, the night of the election, I felt broken.
Nah, when you feel like, to him, that was probably a big failure.
That was huge.
It was public.
It was a huge public failure. It was the second election was worse because that was the night my dream died. Because I realized that I would never be able to achieve something I had worked 12 years for because I was not willing to do what it took as far as compromising to get it.
So is that really failure? Because I mean I was put in situations where I didn't like in the music industry, I didn't compromise certain things. You know, so people see a level of success, but those people are compromising certain things. You know what I'm saying, for that level of success. And I wasn't willing to compromise certain things. So I didn't look at it as failure.
Well, yeah, looking back, I don't look at it as a failure. But in the moment, I was crushed. You know what I'm talking about? I was crushed, bro.
Yeah.
But now, you know, so I'm grateful for, like I said, I'm grateful for everybody. I'm an April fan. I be liking her posts on Instagram. Like, go ahead, girl. Pass them laws. Do your thing. All right, sorry.
So, like, nothing literally is a coincidence. Nothing that happens is a coincidence. So, like, that was a catalyst to all the other, right?
Absolutely.
Awareness and stuff.
I'm a talker too, so just keep me on track.
No, I got you.
Keep me on track, bro.
I got you.
So what do you believe communities like ours need most right now from leaders like you?
So it's two things. That's a great question.
Okay.
The first thing is to show people what's possible.
Thank you. Everything is possible.
Right.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people. I'll speak for myself. I'm not even gonna speak for other people. I did not know it was possible for a black man to be a best-selling author from our community.
So let's talk about this community where you're from. That's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, so I grew up in the east side of Buffalo. I still technically live on the east side, but I'm like the last street before Cheektowaga. Okay. But I didn't know what was possible. So when I left high school with performing arts, my life goal was graduate college, get a job making $50,000 a year.
Yep,
because that's what my parents, their income together was $50,000, and they raised me, my brother, and my sister, and we was cool.
That was the status of that everybody sort of was.
I feel like that's a template out here. You know what I'm saying?
It is. It was.
Graduate. You know, get a job.
Yeah. No matter what you like, if you like the job or you don't like the job, that's your job.
Yeah.
And that was it. So that was, so I didn't know what was, so I only reached for that. But what I tell people is you only get what you reach for.
There you go.
So you have to be brave enough to reach for something more, even if you don't know that it's possible.
Wow.
Just by reaching for it, you make it possible.
There you go.
And so in our community, I feel like a lot of people don't believe that they have greatness in them. But I've traveled all over the country, all over the world, and I can tell you, people in Buffalo got fired.
Yes.
We have some incredibly talented professionals, entrepreneurs, creative people, business owners. Like in Buffalo, we got potential here.
True.
But when people don't realize it, they get stuck into like the East Side awardness, you know, recognitionness, you know, of the who's who. And it's like,
I get it, man. I moved out here for that purpose, because it wasn't a saturated city, and I felt like, you know what I'm saying, I seen that it was a renaissance going on. This is like 15 years ago. And I seen a lot of resilience, and I seen that there's a lot of talent, a lot of potential here. It's just that people need to see other people be successful and get close enough to them to see that's possible.
Yeah, and then we have to open doors for each other.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, that's another thing that in Buffalo I don't see enough of is, hey, I only met you a couple times, but you said you was interested in this, and yo, he does this. So y'all two connect. I'll see y'all later. You know what I mean? And so doing that, but really, I really try to, what leaders need to do is to help people understand that they can do more, that they can be more, whatever that looks like for them. Right? Like everybody's journey is different. Everybody's career path is going to be, but you don't, like in Buffalo, okay, me and my wife was talking about this. It's too many people that just exist here. They have no purpose, no drive. They just exist. All they do is react to the things that happen in the world. Oh, this the new trend? They go with the new trend. This the new mayor? I don't like this mayor. This the new power. Like, that's all they do is, and I don't, that has to be such a miserable life.
It's tough.
To just, but listen, when you got 2 kids and you got a bad education because you went through a bad school system, right? So you're undereducated. You don't have the career options, right? You've been promised things by leaders and programs that's supposed to help, and they never deliver, right? So you kind of give up on that stuff. So now you trying to make sure you feed the kids, make sure you go to work, whatever you got to do to get money. I can see how over a couple years that would undermine your drive and ambition.
It kind of depresses you and crushes your ambitions and your goals.
Yeah, but you got to exist. Like you got to do more. You got to do more than just exist. We got to have. I couldn't imagine not having another goal. Like every time I accomplish something, high five, me and the wife are so happy. And then it's like, okay, well, what's next? You know what I'm saying? And not that we're not grateful or don't have content with what we get, but it's like, if you're not growing, you're dying. Right? Anything that's not growing is dying. And to that same logic, you know, on this planet, everything will reach its potential. Except for humans. So like, an oak tree will grow as high as it is possible for that oak tree to grow. A cheetah will run as fast as it is possible for that cheetah to run. But a human will only reach their full potential through acts of will cut through a dirty, broken society.
Wow.
And so
there you go.
that is what we try to do.
Everybody, we can go home now with that one.
So everything you said is true. So I mean, I believe everyone has a God-given talent and gift, and a lot of people just don't. They know what it is, but they don't tap into it. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, the will. You know what I'm saying? That's very important. You know, and to have the will, I think you gotta have it within yourself, but then be surrounded by people who support you and whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah, that's important.
You know, alignment, right?
Yeah, alignment. And just being an example. A lot of the stuff that we do just authentically because we've been blessed to understand what our purpose is actually very simple. It's stuff that we've been told all of our lives, but until you're at the frequency to receive it, there's sometimes a misconnect. So I love I like all of what you're saying. So thank you so much.
No problem.
I'm gonna do a few, like, if you don't mind. I'm calling them rapid fire, but like they don't have to be rapid. So what is your go-to hype song?
Oh man. So I just got a new one.
Okay.
But so I'm gonna give you both.
By the way, too, you have to be thinking as well because it's between you and Duncan.
Okay.
I forgot to mention.
Okay.
This.
All right.
Okay. So my go-to hype song for the last 5 years has been Kanye West's song "Come to Life."
Okay.
Okay. Can you just like give me the verse?
I'm not gonna sing it. No.
Okay.
Listen, I sing it in my car on a very regular. I could play it on the piano.
No, I'm just gonna
love it
listen
so
to
much.
it when I go home.
Yeah.
Okay.
I loved it so much. I learned it. I bought a piano to learn that song.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
So it's called. It's a gospel song basically.
Okay.
And it's just incredibly powerful. So that's like been for the last 5 years. Every time I go speak, that song is playing in the auditorium. I gotta do it before kids come in there because it's a gospel song. But and then my next one that I just heard 3 days ago, I was in Northern California, in Chester, California, riding through and listen to, radio comes on the rent-a-car, and it was some Christian station. And I'm not gonna act like I'm all super Christian. Okay, just so we're clear. These are two gospel songs, but they just happen to be gospel songs.
Music.
Okay, guys. I mean, I'm not anti-Christian. I love the Lord. I'll be at church, but I don't want to give the illusion that I am.
If you Christian, bro. Wear like a badge of honor, man.
No, I do, but I'm just saying, like, my wife, she's a holy one. You feel me? I'm just like
part-time. You're not the holy one, but Christian?
I'm part-time going to church.
Okay.
Church every Sunday. I'm once a month.
I feel like church is where you take it, man.
Oh, I like that. All right. So the next one. So I hear this Chris say, and they play this song. It's called "Goodbye Yesterday." I don't know who it's by. It's like
I think I know who that's from. Oh man, what's the name? Go ahead. I remember.
It's got like a Christian rock feel.
Okay.
And I'm talking about. I was driving. I'm just listening to it. And it's boom, beat come in. I'm like, okay. Then the words come.
I think it's elevation.
Yeah.
Elevation.
The words come in. You ever have a song hit you like, you know what I'm talking about? Like you listen to the words and you like, I'm pulling my phone out trying to Google put the things I get the music and I can get the lyrics so I can find the name of it. I'm talking about this song. So from that moment on, I've listened to it like 100 times.
And you heard it first, now it's your hype song.
That's my hype song. Oh yeah, that's my joint.
There you go. I like this joint.
Yeah, that's on repeat.
I see it.
And they saying, like, all the stuff that I used to do, all the stuff I used to be,
I
love it.
I'm living in the light of a new day. But then here's the line that hit me the hardest. They said, it's in the rhythm, whatever. And he said, now I'm dancing on the grave that I once lived in.
There you go, brother.
Ooh, I said,
What?
There you go.
There you go, bro.
Okay, all right.
I was like, okay, I'm sorry. So that's,
my goodness.
Them is my hype song. So I be in my car. I was listening to it on the way here, so I can get ready for this interview.
I got it in my library.
I'm about to put it on mine. I don't know if you're going to be able to top his hype song. What's your hype song?
Mine, I'm a problem.
I'm a problem.
Omega Red. I'm a problem.
Your hype song better be your song.
There you go,
that's
brother.
right.
Your hype song better be your hype song.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
have to find a hype song.
You got to.
I have a few, but like they're on rotation and I don't know the names.
Yeah, you got to get you a hype song.
She listens to a lot of frequencies.
High vibe frequencies.
Almost like it's like karma. What do you listen to sometimes in the morning?
Chakra music.
My morning meditations.
Yeah.
I'm always on God's frequency.
Yep.
983 is playing a lot in my. I'm really big on frequencies, what you hear, you know, like sometimes angry music. That's why people are sometimes angry. You got to really be careful about what you, listen, it's your environment, right? At the end of the day, it's what you receive. It's what you bring in. So it's what you see, it's what you hear, it's what you speak. Like that's all very big to me. So I always have very calm, you know, tones going on. But I do get hyped too. Like I do get excited.
Yeah, you get hyped. You get hyped.
I got a little fire.
I bought a Tibetan singing bowl. Just so I can start to learn more about that and frequencies and sound. Yeah.
All right, guys. What about favorite quote?
Oh yeah, you gave your.
He gave his.
I'm a problem.
Favorite quote that never fails to light a fire in you.
All right, I just so you know, I have dozens of quotes that light a fire, but I'll go the favorite one.
Give us
So, I used this during my campaign when I was in college for student body president. I said, I'm gonna fight for other people until hell freezes over, and then I'm gonna fight on the ice.
Ooh, there you go.
That is what you're doing, Duncan.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay, this one's from the Almanac. I think it's Benjamin Franklin.
Okay.
I'd rather have an open foe than an enemy pretending to be a friend.
I like that.
Careful.
There you go.
What was
and then one from, I think it's was a quote from, well, I just said just one.
No, that's okay. I mean,
so Ali, the movie, I think it was, they said, I think, what's the name said to Ali, what's the group from England back in the day, John Lennon? So he said to Ali, he said, champ, the realer you get, the more he really gets around you.
That is, yeah.
There you go.
Dope.
That's for sure.
That's, you know, we've been experiencing that for the past, year?
Like, literally, you used to say it to me all the time, Kate, watch. And now I'm seeing it. The real gets, it's wild. It's wild.
Yeah.
What about a book that changed your mindset? Any recommendations there?
Absolutely. I'll run you down 5 or 6.
Give it to me.
All right, so first, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
The Alchemist.
I told you what.
You taught me The Alchemist.
So
I never even heard the word.
Yeah, so that's a big one. But then after that, Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now.
Okay.
That was huge for my development as a human. Then I needed more, so I read Eckhart Tolle's Stillness Speaks. Then after that, I needed like to go deeper into philosophy.
Yeah.
So I read P.D. Ouspensky's In Search of the Miraculous.
Okay.
That one is if you like only you need to read it.
I
but
will.
That's like only if a person is like really interested in metaphysics, right? So In Search of the Miraculous. Then James Redfield, The Celestine Prophecy, that talks about energy and how our energy interacts with one another.
That one too.
So that's a really good one. The Art of War by Sun Tzu. The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Those all kind of fed into a lot of my growth and development. Yeah, and then the Kybalion by the Three Initiates. Again, that's super deep. That's like ancient African philosophy on existence and the universe. But that was like a really great read as well.
Word.
Do you always have a book going? Or
Yes.
multiple? I always have multiple going at the same.
I try not to do multiple because like then I'll be like, I'll do this one today and this one this week, and I never finish. I gotta like
ADHD. I know. Like,
I gotta.
Sometimes I finish, sometimes I don't.
Yep.
What about you, Omega?
So one of my good books I've read, you know what I'm saying, that helped me a lot was The Music Business by Donald Passman. And then another book by Clinton Sparks, How to Make It in the Music Industry. And then when I was in jail, I read this book by Donald Goines called Whoreson.
Okay.
Yeah.
And and it stuck with you.
Yeah, it stuck with me. Yeah. So yeah.
Right on.
Amazing. Could you share something that would surprise everybody if they knew it about you? A little fun fact that nobody may know.
He likes to talk a lot.
Well, yeah, he said that though.
Nah, no, it's messing with it.
That's a great question. I'm a toxic gamer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
You make money with it now because nowadays you be betting. You have a crew.
I do bet a little bit, but I just like to talk trash. I am competitive in a way that is unhealthy. But in my family, that is just the culture. We play spades, Monopoly, Uno, Tonk. race, basketball. Like literally, we will compete on, and we compete like it's $1 million on the line, and there's nothing on the line.
So you dope at spades. You know how to play spades.
Okay, so actually, my family invented spades.
For
my family, the Kirkwood family.
Get out of here,
no,
bro.
If you look it up, if you have your tech,
that is such a fun fact. That's what you should have learned.
That's what I'm saying, man.
So have the tech team look it up. But my granddad and them lived in Mississippi, and they brought spades from Mississippi to Buffalo when they moved up here during the Great Migration, where blacks moved up to the north for jobs and stuff, and then it spread from there. So if you look it up, it's on. You'll see it on. It's on gaming libraries.
Did the family pat in the game?
No. It's just regular, you know. Because it's like an offshoot of bridge.
So it's like a game that people know.
You know how to play. You don't know how to play spades.
I've never played it. I know a lot of people get into it.
So I'm saying that to say I'm the #1 spades player you all will ever meet.
I gotta play with you then.
Yeah.
So I felt like Bid Whist was kind of came off of spades, right?
Other way, spades came off of Bid Whist. So Bid Whist was first.
Oh, it was.
Bid Whist was first, bridge, all of that stuff. They play all of that, and the spades kind of came from.
Okay, all right.
So that's why, like the older folks, they say, "Oh, spades, that's for they kind of poo-poo spades," and they like, "No, Bid Whist is where it's at."
Okay,
all
right,
But I don't play Bid Whist though.
You don't like it? I kind of like it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like both. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, this has been incredible. I hope that everybody that has watched us has learned as much as I have about you today.
It's a lot to take in.
I wish that you could join. I wish that you could join us on other podcasts, maybe in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much, graciously, for your time and your energy, Omega, as always.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? We create this life, this energy. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Alignment. That's what we all about.
Well, thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And for those of you that are watching, please subscribe to Kate and Omega on our YouTube channel. And we're also on Instagram. And until next time, peace and love. Share joy.
Stay grinding.